The soul is a chorus of voices, only the brave dare learn the harmony. Night gathers over the desert, and that sentence glows inside you like a small, deliberate sun. Ancient Egypt took it literally. They believed your inner life is not one spirit but 9, each with its own purpose, each quietly steering your fate. Before we descend into the sand-veiled chambers, taste the map you're about to walk. Khat, flesh and bone, the vessel of dust. Ka, the electric twin, breath that lingers after breath. Ba, the winged personality that wanders in dreams. Shuyet, the shadow that never leaves your heels. Ibi, the heart-mind that inks every choice into memory. Ren, the secret name that survives tombs and time. Sekhem, raw power, the lion's roar behind your whisper. Ak, luminous spirit risen after death. Sahu, the purified form, free to cross any horizon. Learn their voices and you stop mistaking fatigue for failure or restlessness for destiny. Ignore them and they tug you in 9 directions at once. Now breathe. Copper-cool air slides across your tongue. The desert smells like flint struck against stars. A narrow entrance yawns ahead, no inscription, only 9 shallow hollows cut in a perfect arc, empty, yet humming, the way empty cups hum for water. You step inside. Stone walls close around your torchlight, bending every footfall into a drumbeat under your ribs. Another rhythm answers, slow, subterranean, 9 pulses rolling beneath the limestone. You follow the echo deeper until the corridor widens into a pocket of starlit air. High above, a ragged fissure reveals a slice of sky where 9 bright points align in a gentle curve. They seem to breathe in tandem with your chest. Touch the wall. Cold grain tingles your fingertips, a tremor rises through bone and into memory. Suddenly you're elsewhere, kneeling beside a black pool lit by oil lamps. 9 priests ring the water, each exhaling pale blue flame onto a shard of obsidian. When the 9th shard glows, the fragments fuse into a sphere of molten light that hangs above the water, singing 9 notes at once. In that chord you glimpse yourself, 9 overlapping silhouettes, feathered, shadowed, crowned with fire, waiting for recognition. The vision snaps, leaving a thrumming void behind your sternum. You withdraw your hand, but the vibration follows like a hidden drum. A phrase surfaces, crystalline. 9 remember where 1 forgets. Whisper it and dust sifts from the ceiling in slow spirals, tracing the very arc of the stars overhead. The chamber itself seems to lean closer, listening. A second doorway appears, shaped uncannily like a human outline. Beyond it lies the first of your hidden voices. The torch crackles, impatient. The hum beneath your ribs steadies, an invitation and a dare. 1 step carries you over the threshold. Air grows denser, scented with myrrh and something older, perhaps the breath of those priests still echoing in these stones. In the gloom ahead, a linen-wrapped shape reclines on a low bier, Khat, the vessel of dust, awaiting the spark that once wore it like a robe. The distance between you and that silent body feels measured in heartbeats, not meters. With each beat the hum grows clearer until you can almost name its cadence, pulse of blood, hush of breath, creak of joint, music of matter itself. Will you reach out and feel your own bones awaken, or step back and leave the 9 strangers to their sleep? The chamber waits, poised between silence and song, while somewhere behind you the desert wind holds its breath. Choose and the next door unlocks. Stone cools the air as you advance, and the wrapped figure on the bier clarifies in torch glow. Linen threads the color of moon-bleached bone, edges frayed by centuries of perfect stillness. This is Khat, the body, the clay jar into which all other voices were once poured. Khat is simple, yet it carries every miracle you've ever taken for granted, the taste of figs, the ache of laughter, the memory of rain on newborn skin. Without it, the other 8 parts would drift like smoke with no lamp to burn in. You kneel. Dust rises, catching fire in the torchlight, and for a moment the linen seems to breathe. Your own heartbeat answers, steady, physical, undeniable. Touch the cloth. It is fragile, but beneath it lies architecture as elegant as any pyramid, calcium columns, sinew ropes, copper rivers pulsing with iron stars. This is what divinity feels like when it enters matter, heavy, warm, absolutely mortal. Live memory ignites. You stand in a courtyard of red sandstone as dawn spills over the eastern pylon. A physician priest approaches, holding a ceramic bowl that steams with myrrh and juniper. He anoints your shoulders, murmuring, "The body is a temple, not a tomb." Keep its gates bright. You inhale the incense, lungs bloom like orchards. Every joint feels oiled by sunlight. In that instant you know, flesh is holy not because it lasts, but because it lets eternity taste time. The vision fades, leaving the scent of resin lingering in your throat. You realize how casually you've treated your own temple, skipping meals, drowning nerves in glowing screens, forgetting that bones hear every word you mutter about them. Khat remembers. A whisper circles the chamber, low and granular, as if the limestone itself is speaking through ground quartz. Honor the dust, and the stars will follow. The phrase chills and warms at once. It sounds like a promise carved by gravity. You repeat it under your breath. The linen shivers imperceptibly, or maybe it's your fingertips. Either way, something old acknowledges your vow. Then movement. Not from the body but from the wall behind it. 9 hieroglyphs ignite in soft ochre light, each the silhouette of a different organ. Heart, lungs, liver, tongue, brain, icons map the sacred geography of flesh. Lines dart between symbols, weaving a lattice that converges on the wrapped form, as if the chamber itself is reminding you that every cell is a prayer. The lattice glows brighter. Heat pushes against your face. A seam opens in the floor, revealing a ramp descending into deeper dark. At its mouth, a faint blue aura ripples like breath on winter air. The hum in your ribs shifts key, alive, electric. Khat is stirring, the next voice already calling. Torch in hand, you cast one last glance at the silent linen. The body remains motionless, yet you sense gratitude, dust thanking dust for being noticed. You rise, heart heavier and lighter all at once, and step onto the ramp. Cool air rushes upward, tinged with ozone and something faintly sweet, the smell of breath before it meets lungs. Behind you the seam seals, cocooning Khat in darkness. Ahead, the blue aura deepens into a pulse that matches your footsteps perfectly. 2 beats, pause, 2 beats, an echo of blood finding new wings. The slope steepens. Stone grows slick as though condensation forms from invisible exhales. Far below, a soft glow pools like moonlight trapped in a jar. Whatever waits there is alive, restless, eager to prove that life is more than muscle and bone. You descend, pulse sinking to the luminous cadence. One thought spins like a wheel inside your skull. If the vessel of dust can awaken wonder, what will the living breath reveal? A final step lands on smooth quartz. The blue glow intensifies, swirling into the outline of a human twin made of pure light, waiting to merge, waiting to speak. And the desert high above exhales again. Quartz under your feet hums like low thunder wrapped in velvet. The blue silhouette ahead sharpens, your own height, your own proportions, yet hollow, as though a sculptor carved your outline from midnight air and filled it with stars. This is Khat, the invisible twin who entered your body with your first gasp and will step out with your last exhale. The light twin raises a hand, your hand tingles in perfect sync, phantom nerves answering nerves. You lift your torch, but its flame bends toward the figure as if magnetized by breath itself. For a trembling instant both of you share the same outline, flesh and light overlapping, one body layered atop another like vellum on ink. Then the light withdraws apace, inviting inspection. Khat is motion without weight, hunger without mouth. It drinks incense, melody, sunrise, touch, anything vibrant enough to remind it what living feels like. When you starve it with stale air, monotony, fluorescent glare, it slips away and you feel like a shell echoing with distant surf. Reinvite it and colors sharpen, timing clicks, coincidences bloom like desert flowers after rain. The chamber tightens, suddenly full of wind, though every stone seam is sealed. It's your own breathing, amplified, each inhalation doubled, one sound from lungs, one from Khat. 2 harmonized flutes spiraling upward. Live memory flares. You stand at the prow of a reed boat at sunrise. Mist curls off the Nile like milk into tea. An old ferryman laughs, dips his pole, and the boat shoots forward without a ripple. He points to the water's mirrored sky. There, side by side with your reflection, glides another shimmer, transparent, bright. That is your Khat, he says. Feed it beauty, or it will wander and you will dim. The boat glides on, papyrus stalks bow. Your breath feels scented with saffron and dawn. The vision dissolves, leaving your chest expanded, ribs wide as gates. You suddenly realize you've been breathing shallow for years. Khat hasn't abandoned you, you've been ignoring its invitations. A low chime rings through the floor, quartz singing back to breath. Symbols ignite along the walls, overlapping circles that swell and shrink like lungs. Between them, a single hieroglyph flares gold, two arms uplifted in praise. Above the glyph glows a sentence, soundless yet definite. Breathe beauty, and beauty will breathe back. You speak the words aloud. The blue twin steps forward, passes through you like cool fire, and merges, heart to heart, lung to lung. A wave of electricity ripples out, painting the chamber neon for a heartbeat. When sight clears, the twin is gone, but air itself seems luminous, charged. A new doorway appears, arched, rimmed in gold dust, leading upward this time, as if Khat has lifted you toward higher chambers. From beyond the arch drifts a sound like wings beating inside a cathedral and a faint scent of sky after rainstorm. Your skin prickles with anticipation. Ba, the soul that flies, is circling. You mount the first step. Instantly the stairwell widens into a wind tunnel painted with twilight hues. Feathers, no heavier than thought, spiral past, each pulsing a soft amber. Every third feather shivers, stirring something behind your sternum that longs to take flight. Your feet lighten, stone feels springy, ready to launch you into dusk. At the top landing, a half-moon window reveals endless sky, though logic says you're still buried beneath tons of sandstone. On the sill rests a single bronze mirror, face down. You know, without knowing how, that if you flip it, you will see a version of yourself with wings of lapis and fire, Ba waiting to soar. Your fingers graze the metal rim. The torch dims, making room for skylight no ceiling should permit. Behind you, the stairwell sighs, feathers rustling like distant applause. Turn the mirror, and gravity may remember how to forget you. Hesitate, and the sky might close like a book. Somewhere far below, quartz still hums your doubled heartbeat, urging, lift? The chorus of 9 waits for its next voice. Your thumb slips beneath the bronze edge, metal is cool, almost soft, like river water at dawn. With a single breath you turn the mirror face up. No glass. Instead, an oval window opens onto boundless twilight, cobalt grading to indigo, lanterned with early stars. Suspended in that sky is a silhouette of you, but feathered, wings arched wide, eyes aflame with wanderlust. This reflection, the Ba tilts its head in greeting, and the motion echoes inside your neck muscles a half-second later, as if the body is the shadow and Ba the original. Wind you cannot feel tousles phantom feathers. Your feet, still on stone, begin to forget their weight. The stairwell behind melts into horizon, torch fire shrinks to a single ember, then extinguishes without smoke. You are standing on nothing, yet supported by a memory of flight older than gravity. Ba speaks without lips, its voice arriving as pictures, night journeys above sleeping villages, sudden déjà vu in foreign streets, that surge of belonging when music lifts you beyond language. It reminds you that personality is migratory, dreams are its air routes, emotions its thermals. When Ba is caged by routine, life turns narrow, set it free, and inspiration returns carrying maps from impossible coastlines. The winged reflection folds one pinion inward. Feathers shimmer gold where torchlight once lived. A single plume detaches, floats across the glassy threshold, and pierces your chest without pain, lodging behind the sternum like a tuning fork. Instantly memories you'd mislaid flicker alive. Childhood afternoons when clouds resembled continents, last week's dream of oceans over rooftops, a future vision of you laughing in a city you have yet to visit. Words surface, bright as comet tails. Where Ba flies, the future remembers. Speak them and sky ripples. The mirror loses opacity, now it is simply an opening. The feather in your chest vibrates, tugging you forward. For a breath you consider diving into that endless blue, letting stone and chronology fall away. But another tremor answers, lower, steadier, the pulse of something still earthbound, still hidden. In the far distance of sky a shadow flits, familiar yet darker, like your outline cast on water at noon. Shuet, the living shadow, has noticed the opening and waits below for its turn to speak. Ba senses it too, wings sweep once, stirring currents that swirl back toward the stairwell, reforming walls, lighting torches, restoring gravity grain by grain. Stone steadies underfoot. The bronze mirror dims to surface again, now bearing a faint afterglow. You exhale, a mote of golden dust escapes your lips and drifts into the corridor, proof that Ba's plume still sings inside you. Steps lead downward into half-light. The torch reignites of its own accord, flame blue at the core. Shadows stretch along the walls, longer than logic allows. Some belong to objects, others flicker independently, shrugging free of their anchors. Ba has returned you to ground so you may meet the darkness that walks beside every light. The corridor narrows, throat-like, and at its end a doorway stands ajar, spilling pitch black beyond black, edged in silver like an eclipse. From that void a whisper curls, recognizable as your own voice but stripped of warmth, carrying every word you ever muttered in doubt. You tighten grip on the torch, the flame flares violet, casting two silhouettes on the stone, yours and one that moves half a beat slower. Shuet is awake. To step through is to face everything you've exiled to the corner of your eye. To turn away is to let that corner grow teeth. Ba's feather thrums against your ribs, urging bravery through resonance. The torch dims, daring you to provide the next light. One step more and shadow will lift its head. One heartbeat less and it will follow anyway. Choose. The hush between flickers widens, waiting. You cross the threshold and torchlight dies, but instead of darkness a silvery afterglow clings to every edge. It isn't light, it's shadow made visible. Your own outline steps forward, independent, then turns to face you. No eyes, yet it sees. No lips, yet it speaks inside your skull, every criticism you whispered at 3 a.m., every fear you rehearsed under clipped breaths. Shuet does not threaten, it mirrors. You feel exposed, but also strangely relieved, like finding the source of a draft you've blamed on ghosts. The shadow extends an arm. Where its palm would be, a black ember pulses. Live memory ignites. You were 10, hiding under covers after scolding words you thought would last forever. In the dark you promised never to trust your own voice again. The vow hardened, became Shuet's ember. Now it lies before you, still glowing with that childhood panic. You inhale, reach, and press 2 fingers to the ember. It flares midnight blue, then dissolves into harmless ash. The shadow ripples thinner, calmer, grateful. A phrase surfaces from somewhere deeper than language. What I own cannot own me. You speak it. The corridor brightens, Shuet slides behind you, settling into its rightful place at your heels. The path ahead clears, revealing a chamber lit by steady crimson pulsing like a distant drum. You recognize the rhythm, your heartbeat echoing through stone. IB is calling. The room is small, circular, walls sheathed in polished obsidian. At the center hovers a fist-sized crystal heart carved from rose quartz, beating in perfect sync with your chest. Veins of gold thread its surface, flaring with each pulse. Silently it begins to rotate, projecting holograms of every decision you've ever made, some proud, some raw, all recorded without judgment. You see choices too small to remember steering entire seasons of your life. You see moments when love tried to enter but bounced off closed ribs. IB keeps these records not to shame you but to remind you that a heart is an author, etching futures with every contraction. Another live memory blossoms, you standing in rain, deciding, without words, to forgive someone who never asked. The scene replays and the quartz heart glows brighter, teaching that forgiveness rewrites pages inked in regret. A hush follows as if the chamber awaits your signature. Instinctively you place your palm against the crystal. Your pulse and its pulse merge, gold veins surge, then still. When you lift your hand, a thin golden filament stretches from heart to wrist, an unbreakable thread tying IB's library to your bloodstream. Words form along the filament in molten light. Feel clearer, choose cleaner. The letters fade into your skin. Obsidian walls ripple, then slide apart, revealing twin passages. One slopes upward, resonating with the hush of an unwritten name. Ren waits there. The other crackles with raw static, power coiled like a storm. Sekhem. Shuet's shadow brushes your ankle as if nudging toward the upward path where identity is forged. But the air charged with Sekhem's current promises strength you've never tasted. 2 routes, 1 heartbeat, and only a breath to decide which truth you claim first. Behind, the quartz heart resumes its silent rotation, confident you will make a choice worthy of its record. The corridor leans into silence, counting down the moment your next step defines the path of power or the path of name. You angle toward the upward slope, drawn by a murmur that sounds almost like your own voice, but taller, older, unbroken. Stone steps narrow, forcing deliberate balance. Each rise is engraved with faded glyphs that glint briefly as you pass, as if confirming your ascent. At the top a doorway shaped like an ypsilon opens into a chamber flooded with amber light. No torches, no sky hole, just radiant air humming your blood type. In the center stands a low basin of polished basalt filled with still water so clear it holds no reflection until you lean. The surface dims, then shows names, nicknames whispered in affection, titles earned, insults carried like scars, legal identities, forgotten screen handles, an avalanche of every label ever pinned to your existence. They ripple, overlap, fade. One name remains, glowing white gold, syllables you've never heard yet instantly recognize. Ren, your secret chord in the cosmic score. The moment your gaze fixes on it, the water convects, rising into a slender column that curls around your throat like warm mist. It tastes of frankincense and first snowfall. Inside your mind, vowels rearrange, clicking into place like tumblers in a lock. You mouth the sound, the chamber vibrates. Walls slide aside, revealing rows of empty stone thrones. Each throne bears a cartouche blank. Ren's mist presses gently on your vocal cords, urging you to fill one with that true name. You hesitate, naming oneself is an act of genesis. But deeper down, IB's golden filament tugs, reminding you choices are already recorded. You might as well write them in light. You speak. The true syllables leave your lips like sparrows freed. One throne ignites, cartouche ablaze, seed infused with soft starlight. Instantly air pressure drops and a thunderloud hum surges from the floor below, racing upward like magma in a stone vein. A door cracks behind the throne, spilling silver sparks that smell of storm and iron. Sekhem arrives. You step through and descend a spiral ramp slick with static. Hair lifts, skin tingles. The tunnel widens into a dim vault where lightning flickers inside glass columns. In the center floats a single Urias cobra rod of blue fire, crowned with a solar disk. It watches you, unblinking, every scale a miniature storm. Sekhem, raw potency, the shout of suns inside fragile bone. It can topple tyrants or heal bone in a blink. What it does reflects the name that wields it. The cobra dips its fiery head. A tongue of plasma lashes out, not to strike but to taste the new resonance curling around your throat. Ren approved. A circle of sigils ignites beneath your feet, spinning faster until the vault vanishes in a vortex of indigo flame. You feel no heat, only acceleration, as though history itself is winding a spring in your muscles. Symbols wrap around your wrists, ankles, spine, branding circuits for future thunder. A sentence sears across vision and nerve. Power obeys the name that owns its shadow. You exhale, the vortex halts. The cobra dissolves into sparks that thread into the branded circuits, settling like calm electricity under skin. Columns dim. Vault walls slide apart to reveal a vertical shaft shafting upward into white radiance. A stone platform rises to meet your feet, an elevator of silence. High above, a pinprick of silver pierces the glare. It calls with a gravity beyond gravity, Ak, the luminous spirit awaiting fusion. As the platform ascends, Shuet trails behind you, tame. Ba's feather hums steady, Ka breathes strong. Ren rings like a tuning fork. Sekhem rolls under the surface of skin like distant thunder awaiting command. The silver pinprick spreads into a lotus of starlight, each petal a doorway without wall. Air thins with altitude, yet lungs feel gilded. Somewhere below, Khat's vessel, IB's record, and every shadowed corridor hum in harmony. You realize the chorus is nearly complete, only illumination and purification remain. Platform slows. Starlight drips like liquid mercury, forming a halo before you. Step through and you will merge with Ak and Sahu, the final duet, one flash of divinity, one gentle echo washing everything clean. The halo brightens, testing resolve. Behind, the shaft yawns, offering descent back to known sinew and nerve. Ahead waits sky inside stone, light inside breath. You choose sky. The platform dissolves and gravity forgets your name. Light does not blaze, it unfurls petal by petal until the halo becomes a chamber woven from pure radiance. No ceiling, no floor, only horizonless glow. Your body hovers, weightless, limbs drifting like seagrass. Every heartbeat rings a silent bell that widens through infinity. Then you see it, a filament of sunlight condensing into human shape, Ak, the transfigured spirit. It carries no wings, no crown, only incandescence so refined it makes stars look half-lit. Ak approaches, palms out, and your pulse slows to match an older rhythm, galactic, tidal, precise. Without words, it shows you memories you have never lived, the moment your atoms fused inside a distant star, the instant your first ancestor opened aching eyes to dawn, the day far ahead when your laughter will echo inside someone else's ribcage as inspiration. All times braid into one luminous braid, you. Ak raises a hand, light threads into your sternum, kindling every circuit Sekhem etched. Skin glows, veins gleam like liquid silver. For a breath you are sure your heart has stopped until you realize it is beating faster than light itself, translating eternity into seconds so your body can follow. Live memory ignites. You're standing on a black cliff above an ocean of pale fire. Beside you, a tall figure draped in constellations dips a reed pen into your chest and writes your story across the night sky. Each letter is a day you have yet to live, each comma, a breath you haven't drawn. When the figure finishes, it hands you the pen. Continue, it says. Light needs your handwriting. You look down, the pen is your own glowing finger. Vision fades. Ak steps back, letting the glow settle into your marrow. The halo dims, revealing a second presence at the periphery, a gentle, pearlescent mist swirling into human outline. It carries no heat, no glare, only serenity that feels like rain on afterburned earth. This is Sahu, the purified form, final distillation of dust and dream. Sahu approaches and places a hand of cool luminescence over your blazing heart. Flame and pearl mingle, heat meets hush. Scars physical, emotional, astral surface as brief sparks, then dissolve. Memories of pain remain, but the sting vacates, leaving only skill, only wisdom. The body remembers without bleeding. A phrase blossoms on your inner sight, soft as dawn yet absolute. When life forgives itself, nothing stays broken. Speak it and Sahu releases a breath that rings like crystal bowls. Light siphons excess fire, tempers it, turns it into steady candle flame every cell can steward. Your feet find unseen ground, gravity returning, but lighter as though revised. Around you, 9 luminous sigils circle, Khat, Ka, Ba, Shuyet, Ibi, Run, Sekhem, Ak, Sahu, each a distinct note, yet together a single chord vibrating the chamber into transparency. Walls fade. Above, a true desert sky appears, first hints of dawn blanching the east. You are back beneath the sands, yet somehow also beneath the stars. Far below, quartz corridors and linen-wrapped vessels glow in acknowledgement. Far above, constellations realign, tracing a 9-pointed glyph across the heavens. The air itself seems to whisper your true run, and dunes shiver like cymbals struck by wind. You sense completion, then feel a subtle emptiness, a last hinge unlatched. The 9 are awake, but the chorus has not yet sung together. Integration awaits, aligning every voice into one living harmony that can walk the daylight world. A distant rumble answers, sand shifting, perhaps a caravan, perhaps the future walking toward you. Horizon blushes deeper, minutes remain before first light floods the shaft and seals these mysteries from unready eyes. Torchless, weight-balanced, heart-clear, you step toward the mouth of the ascent tunnel. Each footprint leaves a faint glow that fades just as the next lands, like punctuation guiding a reader to the final line. Ahead, the last doorway opens on pale sky and a wind smelling of coffee-brown earth and beginning. But the air beyond also carries city sounds, modern questions, restless crowds hungry for meaning. Can 9 ancient voices speak through you without shattering in the noise above? Will the harmony hold amid traffic lights and deadlines? Your next breath answers and dawn waits for its cue. Sand crunches as you emerge onto the open dune slope. Dawn has only just broken. Low pink light spills across the valley, catching flecks of mica that glitter like attentive eyes. Behind you, the hidden shaft exhales a final warm breath, then seals beneath drifting grains, 9 secrets returning to silence. But they are not lost. You carry them. Khat steadies your stride, reminding muscle of pyramids and bedrock. Ka expands your lungs, each inhale tastes of cedar and sunrise. Ba hovers at your shoulder, scanning horizons for coincidences to deliver. Shua keeps pace just left of your shadow, vigilant and calm. Ibi thuds in measured applause, archiving every new sensation in gold ink. Ran rings in the throat, shaping words that feel truer than speech has ever dared. Sekhem purrs under the skin, coiled lightning, tamed yet eager. Ak glints behind the eyes, turning mundane color into stained glass clarity. Sahu drapes them all in a quiet mercy that cannot be broken. You walk one body, 9 flames, and the desert air seems to recognize the chorus. Distant jackals hush, even the wind lowers its voice. Ahead, the first hear jeeps crest a ridge, headlights sniffing for history to photograph. None will see the sealed shaft. None will guess the orchestra now tuning inside an ordinary traveler's frame. But you will feel it. Every traffic siren, every office hallway, every quiet apartment corner will become another chamber where the 9 can echo. A last omen rises. In the pale sky, 9 birds arc in perfect curve, then scatter, each finding its own thermal yet circling the same sun. You sense the message. Harmony isn't about shrinking to one voice, it's about letting every voice sing the right measure. You smile, stepping onto the packed tourist path. Footprints of strangers braid with your glowing ones, but only you know the cadence beneath the dust. 9 pulses, 1 rhythm. The day will test the chorus, emails, obligations, a glance that might bruise pride. When it does, you'll pause, breathe, and ask, which voice is speaking now? Which one needs the microphone? And just like that, the ancient choir will tune itself, turning chaos into chord. The desert sun climbs, bright and indiscriminate. Yet within you a subtler dawn keeps blooming, note by note, breath by breath. And somewhere miles below, linen stirs, quartz hums, feathers tremble, listening to see if their song is still alive on the surface. It is. You are. Walk on. If something stirred within you, it is no accident. It is your own 9th part whispering. Leave a mark here and continue the journey with us.